Welcome to another episode of Aloha Authentic with Kamakapili, Hawaii's only TV show where we feature our own local artisans, our culture practitioners, and kupuna, and also community members around our islands to capture their story, their experiences, and share them with you in the comfort of your own home or the comfort of your own journey, in the palm of your hands, wherever you may be. But we want to make sure that we bring these messages and this knowledge, this ike of Hawaiian knowledge and practitioners to you so we can help and spread the authentic Hawaiian culture and mentality and thinking around the world. Today I'm very super stoked to be able to sit down and talk story with a lady who I've been super inspired by since I was able to sit in her class, and from there, just to kind of give and plant that seed of a little bit of deeper thinking or higher thinking in the study of knowledge, pretty much. And we'll be getting into that in just a bit. But Auntie Manu Meyer, aloha, Auntie.
Aloha mai.
Thank you for taking the time. I know you have a very busy schedule, so mahalo for
Such
taking
a
the
pleasure.
time for
Such a
sitting
pleasure.
down. We're gonna just get right into it because, of course, as we all know, these conversations goes by really fast. But Auntie, so we all, at least for me and people that I know that know you, we know you as that who shares about epistemology. And when we talk about epistemology, I'm sure people's minds are kind of going like, what is that already?
Yeah.
Can you share a little bit about epistemology and what you do?
Aloha mai ka koa pau e ku'u mau hoa. Thank you, first of all, for inviting me to talk story with you, Kamaka.
Thank you.
I do remember you as a student at Hilo in those HLDP days. And didn't we have fun?
Oh, we're going to be getting into that in just a bit to give you a little idea of your
blast.
talents of being able to mingle things together.
We had a blast. Remember our Hawaiian Leadership Conferences with 500 plus people? Mm-hmm. I think that's the seed of how Hawaiian knowledge systems were where they were planted. Mm-hmm. We are so unique as people, as practitioners, as in our principles and our love of land and care of people. We're very specific, and we're island people. And those thoughts actually boiled into my doctoral thesis, and that is Hawaiian epistemology. Mm-hmm. And it asked the question, what is knowledge? What is the difference between knowledge, knowing, and understanding, or mana'o'i'o, mana'olana, and aloha? And we have unique ways to respond to that question, and responding to that question and how it reflects throughout the world has been my discipline, has been my love, and it's been my joy to practice these things. And that's why I've remained at the university setting, trying to make this place a little bit more aware that you're not in Kansas anymore.
So we're here at West Oahu campus. What is your position here?
I'm the Kona Hiki, and I love that role. Kona Hiki, of course, and of old were the kaukauali'i. They were the ali'i class of people that made things happen. Listening to the maka'inana, linking them to the ali'i, linking the ali'i to maka'inana, getting things done. For me, Kona Hiki means thanks to Carlos Andrade. Thank you, Carlos. And Mehana Blake for this very succinct summary of what Kona Hiki means. It means to invite willingness. So my job is to invite willingness. And to invite willingness for faculty, staff, and students to understand the distinction of what aloha means, of what ike kupuna means, and how special that is in the world now. Mm-hmm. So my project is out of Hawaii Papuokeao initiative that a lot of beloveds developed years ago. And my office is called Kulana o Kapolei. Kulana is like the inside principle of Kuleana. So helping people understand the principles of their actions actually is where the mo'o lives, is where continuity lives. And that's my job here. Can you imagine? Thanks.
Sounds like you have fun every single day.
Yes, I do.
That's so awesome.
Yeah,
so I know you've, sharing a little about you being my teacher in the past. You were a professor at the University of Hawaii at Hilo. Then I know you went to Aotearoa to have some time there and gain some experiences. Through your journey, what is the most important part of that word epistemology that you tried to instill in people?
Nice. Besides aloha, which we're going to run into at the end, I think some of the deepest ideas that I've learned in Aotearoa from my Maori cousins is the concept of mihi, the concept of wānanga, and the practice of what that is. Mihi for us, of course, is forgiveness, but Mihi for them is a discipline. It's an oracy discipline, where you introduce an idea, or you get up and you thank a person for what they said and its impact on you. So we've been practicing that form of Mihi. It's a type of mentoring, because when you give authentic summaries of what people taught you in a way to express your gratitude, that person is mentored through your love. So it's the same idea as forgiveness. Love mentors. So Mihi is a practice that I love to bring to Hawaii. And we've been practicing it at conferences and events, and even at the end of classes, students get to look at each other and say, this is what I am grateful for you about. This is what I mihi you about. That practice, and also wananga. Wananga for Maori. 1,000 years earlier, it's vananga for us. Wananga means to discuss in an enlightened way. You know what I mean? And vanana for us, same. We're Hawaiians. Maoris are the same, but we're different. We're 1,000 years earlier. That's why they call us their tuakana, their elder sibling. They left our shorelines in different waves, 900, 800, 850 years ago. And wananga is their term, vanana is ours. And you know what it means for us? It means to prophesize. So when we're in conversation with each other in a heightened sense and in a joyful frequency, we are in essence prophesizing our future. Don't you think?
That's awesome.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
I know.
So being able to engage with other peoples and build relationships, for me, what I'm getting is it really just builds an understanding of yourself.
Nice.
And that's what I think of using hula as an example. You know, like we have so much Japanese who dance, or we just say non-Hawaiians who dance hula. For me, when I talk with other people, it's really seeing it as hula as being the tool to be able to open up yourself to find out who you are.
Beautiful.
But using other people's culture, or at least with that engagement of conversation.
That's beautifully summarized, because the tool for understanding ourselves is everywhere. And I believe when non-Hawaiians dance the beauty of our love of land and our understanding and relationship to land, they're connecting themselves to themselves, because the love of land and the respect of culture in place is a gift. We give ourselves. And when you know that, you begin to know yourself better. And that's why I love that hula. That's why I love ukulele. That's why I love surfing. It's the gifts we've given the world is the joy of our relating to our natural world.
So when we talk about knowing, understanding, and thinking, or whatever falls under epistemology, what is the difference between those?
You know what? I learned this through ike. The word ike, there's three. Actually, there's more. Ike means to see. It's a physical term. Ike means to know. It means knowledge. It's a kind of a mental term. And Ike also means to be given revelations from the gods. And that put me on the path to really getting the idea that knowledge is physical, mental, and spiritual. And then I saw it everywhere. It's everywhere. It's in every old culture on the planet. There's a physical outside empirical world, there's an inside subjective mental world, and there's a transspatial, fantastic, joyful world, quantum world, we now call it. But it's also in Mana'olana, Mana'o'i'o, and Aloha, in our song E Kolu Mea Nui. And Pulama Collier, my Pili Aloha from Maui, brought us to that knowledge. That Manu, do you know that we have a Hawaiian Epistemology song? I'm like, what? She goes, it's E Kolu Mea Nui. And if you know E Kolu Mea Nui, you'll know that it's Mana'o'i'o is a synonym for faith, Mana'olana is hope, and Aloha is love. But she said, it's also, Mana'o'i'o is knowing inside our body. It's the verb form. Mana'olana, lana is to float. It's knowledge, it's ideas outside of us. And of course, Aloha, that's understanding. Isn't that amazing?
That's super awesome.
That's Pulama. So thank you, Pulama, for that. Yeah.
So, you know, that is definitely a space of higher thinking. How did you build a career or a path for you to walk on where there may not have been a path around that thinking or around that ideology?
You know, our schools are depression pits, and I've felt stupid my whole life, so I had to be good at sports. So I'm a recovering athlete, And so when you don't feel smart inside the classroom, you got to find something you're good at. So my whole life has been in search of not only who I am and what I'm good at, but what I can serve, what I can give to others. And bodily kinesthetic intelligence, no one ever called me smart, but I found that in the Howard Gardner's multiple intelligence theory. So I had to go where he taught, and that was over at Harvard. And that's the multiple intelligence theory, and bodily kinesthetic intelligence is one of them.
My experiences, at least listening to you, listening to others who roam in that level of higher space, it's so ono. It's so, I don't know how else to explain it. It's just so fulfilling, and it makes you feel good on the inside, even though you might not necessarily follow every step of the way. How do you think we can inspire our keiki and the young ones who may have a faster attention span, who may not necessarily be brought up to that level, but we want them to, because you gain so much more when you find out that one thing has so much different layers to engage with? How do you think that we could spark more interest within our keiki?
Do your bliss. Do your passion. Find the joy in your heart. And you are doing it right now. And when you do that, you do what Halimako has taught us. He's taught us to have emotional transmission of an accurate message. He didn't just say, read your speech. He didn't say, just say something. Emotionally transmit an accurate message. And that means know what you know and express it with power, dignity, and reverence. And he was very clear about that, and I value that. So it's not other people's kuleana. It's not your kuleana to worry about their kuleana. It is only yours to do yours well. And thank God, that's all I can do. It's a full job.
Well, you do it very well, and I think that it's a perfect segue to my next question, which is, how have you, because sitting in your class, so Kumu Manu had taught an education class at the university, and it was under an education course, and it was interesting because she used Hawaiian mentality and this understanding of epistemology and knowledge to succeed in teaching an education course that was in general for everybody. So how have you been able to successfully build that bridge between the two, between an understanding of Hawaiian mentality and just a general Western classroom? Let's put it that way.
Well, it's really effortless. All you got to do is be who you are, and be trusted by your colleagues to do that. So I was asked to develop a intro to ed course. If they called it intro to schooling, I would have been sunk, because I think there's a difference between schools and education. So, for instance, in the intro to ed course, everyone had to make a garden. You had to go outside, and that everyone was like, "Why do we have to go outside?" I go, "Why wouldn't you?" Because we have to learn these things, and we have to be engaging. Or if it was your course, the HD 100 course, it's learning about taking care of Special Olympians. So we did the Special Olympics. We did those kind of service-oriented jobs. So the ability to give to others and not expect payment, that aloha aku aloha mai, it's in the giving where aloha lives, not in the expecting of payment. That to me is the depth of Hawaii, is the simultaneity of things like aloha aku aloha mai, kokua aku kokua mai, a'o aku a'o mai. That sense that we learn when we teach, we receive when we give, and love is about loving, that kind of thing.
So from Hilo, then you went to Aotearoa, and you took that understanding, or you took Hawaii and the words and the aloha from here to there. How was that experience with mingling with another native people that have their own indigenous knowledge and are very successful in their everyday life?
It was fantastic. Our Maori cousins are very unique, and we have something very special to offer them. We have the depth and the process and the priorities of aloha. So that's what they want. They basically said, please actualize and make aloha coherent in the development of a master's degree. So we developed He Waka Hiringa, a master's of applied indigenous knowledge, and it was a blast because aloha was at the center of it, and it created a different form of knowledge production for Maori, and they appreciated it because we were there to respect their knowledge of their kupuna. And they were in the throngs of just kind of putting that form of knowledge only in the marae, and we asked them to take it out and make it more mainstream. in Aotearoa. And so you could be in our master's program without a bachelor's, but you had to be a practitioner, at least 15 years in a Maori activity, whakairo, carving, raranga, weaving, those kind of things. So it was a radical time for me in Aotearoa. I was there for 6 years, and I'm glad I'm home. And I know how special we are as their tuakana, their elder siblings. I know what we have to, and I know why we're different. And that's the good news.
From just experiences, I've personally never have been there, which is on my bucket list to be there. That's definitely something I would love to experience. One of my goals in the future is to travel and do cultural exchange with other peoples and be able to build that relationship and this cycle, just like the moon and the sun that continues its revolution, that gives us life. That's how I see these cultural exchanges. What did you walk away with when you came back home?
I walked away with a lot. I walked with the respect of our own people, the love of our own ike nahe nahe, the breeze of Hawaii, the beauty of Hawaii. I recognize our connection to Maori, but it strengthened my recognition of the beauty and the depth and the strength of our own people here in Hawaii. It really did.
I got chicken skin, just FYI. I don't know if you can see it. But so, taking that understanding of cultural knowledge and valuing the passion of it, when we have situations where culture is pushed on the side or is bastardized or is misappropriated by somebody or what have you, but in that fashion, what is your approach to that?
That's a great question, because it happens every single day when I drive around. It happens every single day when I drink aloha. It happens every day. And what I do personally is digest it, so that I use it as nutrition for my own evolution, my own expansion. Ho'omanawa nui doesn't mean patience. It means the expanding of your heart and of your mind. So more patience allows me to be a better human being. And I do believe that, because if we do not express the rigor and the beauty of aloha, then what is the foundation of our culture? And that's what I'm learning, is that we have to be clear about what it is that we value, or else it will not be infused in all that we do. We'll just be apologetic, and we should never be apologetic about our ike kupuna and about our love of Hawaii.
That's such a cool statement. So where do you think that line is of sharing too much that may give the opportunity for something to be misappropriated?
Where is that line? It's in the individual, and there is no boundaries to loving. There's no boundaries. If you're speaking too much about something, you should know. And but the sharing of music when it's appropriate, the sharing of dance, the sharing of song, the sharing of pule, the sharing of history, of mo'olelo, of place, we know when it's appropriate. And when people say it's not appropriate, that's their kuleana to talk, and it's our kuleana to bear witness. But we need to be strong and confident and kind about when we do it and why, and to be steady. And when we do it collectively, like the Ole Mahalo, I remember my family saying, we can't sing that, that's too long. And 10 years later, my family loves that song. And we sing it every time we meet, because to make gratitude your attitude is a good idea. And so, remember when Eho Mai wasn't even, practiced, but now everybody knows Eho Mai. That's because we remain steady. And so what are our next Oli? What shall we remain steady collectively on? It'll happen, but we got to choose, and then we got to do it.
Working at the university, I'm sure you come across people from not just around the islands, but around the world with different backgrounds, different religions, and what have you. What have your experience been teaching in a space like this, surrounded with the aina, with different mo'olelo, with a kuahu in the background, that you have a whole mo'olelo to share about that and create that energy? What has been the reception from non-Hawaiians when it comes to cultural and especially Native Hawaiian knowledge?
I think people are basically ready. I think people want meaning and the expression of authentic exchanging exchanging, develops I call it a mutual emergence. We emerge through mutuality, through our relationships with each other. There's no other way we can do it. I can't just rock up and by my own little self and go, I'm growing, I'm growing. We do it in tandem. And there's many different words to describe that idea. But I believe our university here in Kapolei has been very, very supportive, encouraging. We have a Hawaiian chancellor. We have Hawaiian vice chancellors in our academic and student services, and they've been very, very supportive. As these times, because we live in the gold. This is Kapolei. This is Nanakuli. This is Waianae. We live in gold. Our people are here. I feel very, very fortunate to be here at this time in the gold of our people, right here. This is where the ho'oulu is happening, ma'anei.
Where do you see indigenous knowledge in this definite crazy world of politics today?
Nice. It's at the core of the issue of continuity. And people say sustainability, I use continuity because continuity is about common sense. If we don't prioritize our love of land and our service of people, we're just going to, it's going to end. So we have to begin to rewrite ourselves so that capitalism doesn't become our priority and competition and hoarding, but service, giving, and a living economy we're trying to introduce to the world, which we've had for thousands of years, the ability to really share, like your brother's knowledge of carpentry. That is a living economy. He was able to do that, but he had to have a skill set, and he had to have somebody to share it with. So a relationship with the family, and then the needs. If we don't develop a living economy, we are all going to be out of Hawaii. And I think we're doing it right now. Our parties are living economies. The work that we do with our families are living economies. The work, every time people say, we don't have money, I go, it's okay, just potluck, and we'll meet. And so, we can meet. You don't need to pay for places. We can meet in my backyard. But potluck, and then we talk story. That's how the Hawaiian Charter School began. And that's how it began. We just met and potlucked it at the university. And mahalo nui to the whole gang that started that, to you, Ku. Mahalo nui, no ko kaupapa. It's a blessing to know that friends can actually keep at it for this long and do what we need to do through our friendships.
Well, definitely have that energy of aloha that exudes from you, if that's the right word. But even just the words that you share and recognizing and the relationships that you've built, for me, I just hear the word aloha. What does that mean to you through all your experiences, good or bad, ups and downs? What does aloha mean?
Kumu Kaipo Olana Ai said it best. She said, aloha is the intelligence with which we meet life. Isn't that beautiful? Mahalo nui, kumu. And that's what I learned in listening to beloveds, is aloha is our true intelligence. And it really is. So when they called the kapu aloha up in Mauna a Wakea, it wasn't the aloha of Waikiki or the drink aloha. It was kapu in this sense means reverence, to have reverence for what aloha is. And aloha for us, besides being our true intelligence, we have to embody that through our actions. And when you really do that well, the sky's the limit for what you can digest. And when you digest sorrow and ugliness and pain, aloha comes out. And it is a discipline. And I've changed by that discipline. Because when you really learn to love, you got to start with yourself. And loving yourself is radical. That's where the ho'oulu is for me, to love yourself. And when you do that well, we heal. And when we heal the world. I know we will. So love yourself and watch what it does to heal Hawaii. And I've been told Hawaii is going to heal the planet. So ho'omakau, let us be clear about the love of self and the service to others. That only happens when we love ourselves. And that was a journey for me, to love myself and then to extend that to others. It's totally doable. And if I can do it, you can do it.
And with just a couple minutes left, what just popped in my mind, and I remember it was because of you that I stopped on that channel. But watching you, there was that convention that was recorded and seen it on Olelo channel that had you and Pono Shim speaking about aloha and this Aloha Spirit Law, coming back to Auntie Pilahi Paki.
Yep.
Can you share just a little bit about, in her perspective, what does aloha represent?
Auntie Pilahi Paki brought the three ideas of interpretation to bear. Ho'opuka, which is the literal translation of an idea, kauna, which is the multiple, and then the noahuna, which is the hidden. And she believed that aloha had all those three aspects, and that, you know, aloha is hello, goodbye. Aloha has many different iterations, but in our heart of hearts, it's absolutely at the core of who we are and how we are on the planet. And our conviction to how that gets expressed is by itself an act of aloha. And that is what Hawaii is. No Hawaii, K-N-O-W, no Hawaii, K-N-O-W, no aloha. And that is the summary of, I believe, is very important to understand, is that we have aloha to share with the world, and we can do it. We can do it. We have the environment, we have the capacity, we have the culture, we have the history, and we have the collective future. But we have to do it together. And that is the joy of this project that you have, Kamaka. Mahalo nui for gathering all these people together.
Oh, thank you. I told you half an hour goes by super fast.
It's super fast.
So we came up to our time limit, but I just want to mahalo you for taking the time and creating a space for people like me who are inspired to want to know more, and being a pillar like this hale, keeping the roof over our heads and being able to continue to move forward with the aina and all the mo'olelo and knowledge that comes with it. So mahalo. Thank you.
Keep aloha. Keep aloha.
Well, there you go, guys. That's all we got on this half an hour. But hopefully that inspired you to take the next step into your future, whatever that may be. Reminding you, every Thursday on KHON2 News, we have our Aloha Authentic segment where we're going around our islands and sharing the mo'olelo of different street names and the meaning behind the street of where the name may have came from. Also, if you've missed anything of our past episodes here with Aloha Authentic with Kamakapili, be sure to check out www.aloha.authentic.org to catch up on everything and all the knowledge and stories that have been told, as I can guarantee you, you're going to be walking away with just a little bit more knowledge of what authentic Hawaiian culture and thinking encompasses. With that, we hope you have a great day and a better tomorrow. Aloha, ahuiho.